Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. The first decision technique that we choose is decision analysis. The first Quranic verses to support our decision analysis technique is come from Surah Al-Isra, verse 36. The translation of this surah is, "Do not follow what you have not sure knowledge of. Indeed, all will be called to account for the hearing, sight, and intellect." According to the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Ibn Abbas said that, "Do not say anything of which you have no knowledge." Qatada the Ammah also add by saying, "Do not say, I have seen where you do not see anything, or I have heard when you did not hear anything, or I know when you do not know. For Allah will ask you about all of that." To sum up both statements, Allah prohibits speaking without knowledge and only on the basis of suspicion, which is mere imagination and also illusion. The second Quranic verses to support our decision analysis technique is come from Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 6. The translation of this surah is, "O believer, if an evildoer brings you any news, verify it, so you do not harm people unknowingly, become regretful for what have you done." The Asbabul Nuzul from this surah is involving Al-Walid ibn Uqbah, who was sent by the Prophet Muhammad to collect zakat from Bani Mustalik. However, there was a long-standing enmity between Al-Walid and Banu Mustalik from the pre-Islamic era. When Banu Mustalik learned of Al-Walid's arrival, they went out to receive him out of respect for Allah and also his messenger. However, Al-Walid became fearful and was misled by Shaitan into believing that Banu Mustalik intended to harm him. He returned midway and falsely reported to the Prophet that Banu Mustalik refused to pay the zakat and plotted to kill him. This angered the Prophet, who wanted to take an action against Banu Mustalik. Later, Banu Mustalik went to the Prophet to explain their intention and express their fear of his wrath. Allah then revealed verse 6 from Surah Al-Hujurat admonishing believer to verify news before taking any action.
Alright, now I will discuss how the verses support the underlying concept of decision analysis. So, when we talk about decision analysis, there are a few important concepts that should be highlighted. First, state of nature, which refers to uncontrollable future events which may occur and will affect desirability of outcomes for decision made right now. And the only way for us to notice these states of nature is for us to observe. As what has been pointed out from Surah Al-Isra just now, we need to utilize our senses, such as sight and intellect, to investigate or get to know something. If we are not sure about the future, ask for those who know either by referring to experts or we can also conduct a research. This will bring us to the second concept, which are probabilities. In order for us to make a decision, we need to consider the probabilities of the occurrence of the state of nature. If someone told us about the future events that could occur, it is our responsibility to verify it first, like what has been said in Surah Al-Hujurat, that emphasizes us to verify everything that we receive so that we will not regret the decision that we made without verification. The last one is the consequences of our choice. In order for us to make a right choice, we need to practice what has been said in both surah, which are to investigate and get the knowledge about particular things and not to decide when we are not knowledgeable. Alright, for illustration, let's say Muiz Fried Chicken Sendirian Berhad need to decide what size of portion of chicken they want to sell to their customers to generate higher income. So the decision alternative we had here is whether they need to sell a whole chicken only or they can sell small cut chicken and a whole chicken. The state of nature, of course, would be the demand of the each portion. In order for Muiz to get to know the demand, he needs to further investigate, and he might also ask for the opinion of others or ask the experts such as analysts on how people prefer their size of chicken. This is what have been highlighted in the Surah Al-Isra and Al-Hujurat. Do not make decision when you do not know about something. Put your effort to learn and investigate. The consequences of the choice he made could be either lower sales or higher sales. Since Muiz are focusing on generating higher income, of course, he will pursue the choice that will result with higher sales. And with the knowledge that he gained and received, he will make the right choice.
The second chosen technique is the linear programming technique, guided by the principle of optimization and efficiency. The first related Quranic verses is Surah Al-Furqan, verse 67. The verse means there are those who are spent neither wastefully nor stingily, but moderately in between. According to Tafsir Ibn Kathir, believers are neither extravagant, spending more than they need, nor miserly towards their families, not spending enough on their necessities. However, they take the best and the fairest course of action. The ideal situation is moderate, not extreme. Next, another related verse is from Surah Al-A'raf, verse 31. The verse means, O children of Adam, dress properly whenever you are at worship. Eat and drink, but do not waste. Surely he does not like the wasteful. The Asbabun Nuzul for this verse is that the verse was revealed in response to the behavior of some of the Bedouins used to circumambulate to the sacred house completely naked, to the extent that their women circumambulated the house completely naked except for straps, like the straps placed on the face of the donkeys to protect them from flies, placed around their lower parts, reciting, Today, some or all of it will, and whatever appears of it, I do not make it lawful. It was the norm, according to the religion which they followed, that when they went to the pilgrimage and returned from Mina, none of them was allowed to go around the house with the clothes which they wore, and so whoever wanted to go around the house had to undress and put his clothes aside after the circumambulation. This act was supposed to display more piety from the person who did it.
Alright, now we continue about the underlying concept that related to linear programming topics. What are the concepts in linear programming chapter that are much related in Islamic perspective? The first one is making the best decision within the constraints. As we know, in linear programming topics, all objective functions are subjected to constraints. Islam already teach us that everything in this world is subjected to limitation. All creatures have its limitations and flaws except Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala put limitation on us because He did not want us to feel superior until forget that Almighty is only Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Second is optimization, which is basically in linear programming is to find the minimum or maximum of objective function. Islam really highlight the importance of striving for self-improvement in both spiritual and worldly matters. This includes purifying one's intention in order to striving for excellence. And then the third one is efficient utilization of resources. Islam encourages us to fully use the resources that we have as long as it aligns with Islam. The reason is any unutilized resources will be considered wasteful because we never know whether the excess resource that we have gonna be used in the future or not. As we can see in the previous video, is about how linear programming is applicable in a daily life as a doctor. There are several points that we can relate about linear programming and also doctor work life. First point is about the objective function. For doctors, the objective function is to maximize the total number of surgeries that they can conduct in a hospital or to minimize the cost of conducting a surgery. The next point is about constraint. For doctors, the constraints are operating room time and also nursing staff time. Both of these constraints are non-negativity constraints. And then the last point is about certainty. Any procedure of surgery must be clear and certain, which is doctor must have licensing and qualification that is legitimately certified before handling any surgery.